you don't know about Jet Li. Li Lianji, born 26 April 1963, better known by his stage name Jet Li, is a Chinese-born film actor, film producer, martial artist, and retired wushu champion who was born in Beijing. He is a naturalized Singaporean citizen. After 3 years of training with acclaimed wushu teacher Rubin, Li won his first national championship for the Beijing wushu team. After retiring from competitive wushu at age 19, he went on to win great acclaim in China as an actor, making his debut with the film Shaolin Temple 1982. He went on to star in many critically acclaimed martial arts epic films, most notably as the lead in Zhang Yimou's Hero 2002, Feast of Legend 1994, and the first 3 films in the Once Upon a Time in China series 1991 to 1993, in which he portrayed folk hero Wong Fei-hung. Li's first role in a non-Chinese film was a villain in Lethal Weapon 4 1998, and his first leading role in a Hollywood film was as Han Sing in Romeo Must Die 2000. He has gone on to star in many international action films, including in French cinema with the Luc Besson produced films Kiss of the Dragon 2001 and Unleashed 2005. He co-starred in The One 2001 and Wire 2007 with Jason Statham, The Forbidden Kingdom 2008 with Jackie Chan, all 3 of the Expendables films with Sylvester Stallone, and as the title character villain in The Mummy Tomb of the Dragon Emperor 2008. Whenever Kung Fu comes up in conversation, the movies of Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan are inevitably discussed, but in his native China, Jet Li is held in equally high regard. Born Li Lianji on April 26, 1963, the Beijing native began training age 8 after his gym teacher put him in touch with legendary wushu master Rubin. He wasn't a prodigy student, however, in fact, becoming such an accomplished fighter was a real struggle. Enough with the intro, now let's get back to our discussion topic.
He was a preteen street performer. In 1973, the legendary Bruce Lee passed away under mysterious circumstances, leaving China, America and the rest of the movie-loving world in shock. The following year, Lee, just 11 years old at the time, was doing a Kung Fu demonstration in Hong Kong when he was approached by a movie producer and asked how he felt about becoming the next Bruce Lee. Speaking to Talk Asia via CNN in 2003, Lee, whose English wasn't quite as accomplished back then, recalled the encounter. President Nixon asked him to be his bodyguard. 1974 turned out to be quite the eventful year for Lee. Not only did the 11 years old find himself on the watch list of Chinese movie studios, he also got the perform in front of the US President. Lee and the Chinese national wushu team were invited to the White House, where they put on a show for Richard Nixon, whose time in the Oval Office would soon come to end because of his involvement in the Watergate scandal. Nixon wasn't very popular at the time, and after he saw what Lee could do, he apparently offered him to job for protecting him. He thinks the US government budgeted his hotel room. During his candid 2003 interview with Talk Asia via CNN, Lee was asked if there was any truth to the rumor that his hotel room had been packed during his first visit to the United States, and his answer was shocking. The Nixon administration were found to have spied on their political rivals using hidden mix, and the Chinese government were apparently very aware about spending the wushu team on a tour of America, knowing that they could potentially be targeted for information. They were so worried that they warned the traveling team members to be careful about they said all at all times, including while they were in the privacy of their hotel rooms. films. At that time, China and America just started relationship between the two countries. It is so funny. When I went where I wanted to try to see if they have a bug or not. So in New York, a big hotel, I talked to the mirror. Lee claims that she said out loud that he would really like some chocolate and ice cream. To the surprise and amusement, the sweet treats he wished for all his private quarters miraculously and materialized.
Number 4. He married his first wife out of duty, not love. Lee has 4 daughters, 2 with his ex-wife Huang Chuyan-yan, 2 with his current wife Nina Lichi. The action star and Chi, a former Miss Asia, will be celebrating their 20th wedding anniversary in 2019 and they appear to be as happy as ever. Lee has managed to remain good friends with his first wife despite the fact that he openly admitted he only married her out of a sense of duty. Lee and Chuyan, a teammate from the Chinese national Wushu side who also became a martial arts actor, had known each other from childhood. Their long friendship took an unexpected turn when they were filming a movie called Martial Arts of Shaolin together. Lee broke his leg on set and he was blown away by the level of support his co-star gave him. She remained by his side as he returned to full health, at which point Lee felt it was only right to propose, plus she was loaded. My family was poor, her family was well off. Lee explained via contact music. She often took care of me. That's how it happened. I did not know what love was. In terms of how much emotion each person devoted, she maybe gave 90% or 80%. At most I gave. I still have not figured out. When we parted, we were really like friends. According to QQ, via Jane Stars, Lee gave Chuyan $50,000 as a gift when she remarried in 2005. Number 5. He was almost killed in the 2004 tsunami. The devastation caused by the Boxing Day tsunami of 2004 cannot be understood. On December 26, a 9.2 magnitude earthquake shook the seabed of the coast of Sumatra, Indonesia, sending 40-foot waves hurtling towards land. In the Eid, a staggering 230,000 people lost their lives across 14 different countries, one of which was the Maldives. Lee and his family were vacationing on one of the 26 ring-shaped atolls that make up the South Asian Republic when the tsunami struck, and they had a very lucky escape. The waves came really quickly and formed swells. Lee explained, during a Hong Kong fundraiser via Santavanta, I carried my daughter's hand, pulled my maid and ran. I would only walk 3 steps when I realized that the water had already come up to my waist. In a matter of seconds, the idyllic setting turned into something from nightmare. When I looked back, everything I saw minutes ago was gone. Lee continued, everything was surrounded by the ocean. The houses collapsed. I continued to run, but the water was already up to my mouth.
Luckily, Lee, his family and his maid all survived to tell the tale, which the actor apparently intends to do. In 2017, reports suggested that he was planning to star in a film about the tsunami, a China-Indonesia co-production. The story of fellow survivor Maria Belon and her incredibly resilient family was given the big screen treatment in 2012, The Impossible. Number 6. The experience changed his life. Surviving the tsunami changed Lee's outlook on life. The actor had an epiphany following the disaster, deciding that he wanted to dedicate himself to philanthropy after being deeply moved by the treatment he and his family received from total strangers. If it were not for the actions of 4 brave men who swam to Lee's aid after he screamed for help, his 2 youngest daughters would have likely drowned. The experience of surviving the chaos and witnessing the devastations caused by this natural disaster has changed me forever, he told Ellen. During the recovery period in the Maldives, I was deeply moved to see that everyone who was able to help willingly pitched in. Never once did anyone ask, where are you from or what nationality are you? you. I wondered, was it possible to keep that spirit alive and transcend traditional boundaries to help humanity at large? To satisfy his curiosity, Lee set up his own foundation. I realized that all the money and power in the world would not have saved me from the water, he said in a detailed speech for Newsweek. That night I decided that I could not wait until I was retired. I had to do something right away. The whole ordeal put life into perspective for him. I had spent the first 41 years of my life thinking about Jet Li first, wanting to prove I was special, wanting to prove I was a star. Number 7. Alia's death hit him hard. Lee's first appearance in a Hollywood movie was as the villain in 1998's Lethal Weapon 4, but he wasn't used to playing a bad guy, especially one that kicks ladies in the face. He got his chance to play the hero 2 years later when he was cast as the male lead in 2000's Romeo Must Die, starring opposite Alia. Likely, the R&B singer turned actress was trying to earn her stripes in Tinseltown. Sadly, she died before she really got the chance to establish herself. On August 25, 2001, the 22-year-old boarded a small plane headed to Miami. The aircraft would never reach its destination. Alia and several staffers from her record label, who had been with her in the Bahamas filming a video for her song Rock and Boat, perished when the plane crashed. The pilot reportedly warned Alia and her party that the small aircraft was dangerously overloaded, but he apparently relented and took off anyway, possibly with a faulty engine. For those that knew Alia, the circumstance took second place to the grief.
When Lee returned to Vancouver, where Romeo was filmed for the movie Rock, he found being back there hard. I have some memories of this very beautiful city, but it still makes me think about Alia, he told ASEAN. We worked together here for a few months. She was such a talented girl, and some locations when you pass by every day, you still think about her. Number 8. He turned down a role in The Matrix. Romeo Must Die did not blow the critics away. It only managed 33% on the Tomato meter, but Lee was considered one of the highlights. The box office numbers were a little more convincing. The film managed to rake in $91 million worldwide from a budget of $25 million, which was seen as a pretty decent haul at the time. All things considered, it was a success for Lee, who felt so comfortable with his future prospects that he turned down a role in the Matrix sequels. Speaking to Talk Asia via CNN, the star explained that he had to make a choice between the Matrix. He was reportedly offered the part of Sheriff and hero. Sometimes you get something and sometimes you lose something, Lee said. He claimed to be a fan of the Wachowskis, but he was not a fan of what his siblings directors did to the action genre. After The Matrix, everybody do action movie with people fighting while flying around, Lee complained. Suddenly everyone can fight. Man can do, girl can do, little boy can do. Even cartoon can do the same thing. In this movie, everyone really can do. His decision to favor hero over the Matrix sequels paid off, as the Chinese Wuxia won wide approval, with death-defying action sequence and epic historic sweep. Hero offers everything a martial arts fan would ask for, Rotten Tomatoes critics concluded. The movie was certified fresh with a score of 95%.
Number 9. He renounced his American citizenship. After his breakthrough in America, Lee found himself spending more and more time in the States. He decided that it made sense to apply for American citizenship, which he was duly granted. But he renounced both his American and Chinese citizenship in 2009 in order to move to Singapore, which doesn't allow dual nationals. The actor reportedly spent around $15 million on a swanky 3-floor property and moved his family to the tax-friendly island, following in the footsteps of Facebook co-founder Eduardo Saverin and fellow martial arts movie legend Jackie Chan. The fact that he likely pays half the amount of tax he would be paying in
in the States was surely a factor, but according to nomad capitalists, Singapore's excellent education system also influenced Lee's decision. But how did the people of China, the ones he swore allegiance to while a guest at the White House, take the news? Traditionally, Chinese celebrities that ditched the homeland for Singapore are dubbed traitors and lose major credit. Actress Gong Li was furioused online when she became a Singaporean in 2008, though his didn't happen with Lee. According to the South China Morning Post, polls revealed that only half of the Chinese citizens asked about Lee leaving China object to it, with one fan even suggesting that they would like to do the same. It's his right to live where he wants to. The blogger wrote, "If I could, I will follow suit. Singapore's passport is better." Number 10. His health is failing. Rumors that Lee was in grave health spread like wildfire in 2018 after a photo of the actor looking old and worryingly frail went viral, forcing his manager to respond. Steven Chasman told USA Today that the story was much ado about nothing and Lee was simply in a bad light when he posed for a quick snap with a fan. It's one picture and people are making these interpretations from it. Chasman said, "If you took a picture of me at the wrong angle and wrong time of the day, I could look frail as well." Fans are quick to blame Lee's great new look on his hyperthyroidism, a condition that makes the thyroid gland produce too many hormones. He was diagnosed in 2010, and while he's been able to keep it under control using medication, his hyperthyroidism has often been a cause for concern among fans. The web has been abuzz with news that I am going to be wheelchair bound, Lee said in 2016 via the Straits Times. "Even my friends are concerned and are asking how I am." The action star joked that a wheelchair company had been spreading the rumors to boost sales and reassured fans that he was okay. "There is nothing to worry about my health," he said. Lee looked capable as ever in behind-the-scene footage from a 2017 short film, and Disney is clearly happy with his health as the Mouse House has cast him in its upcoming live-action remake of Mulan. Number 11. He fell from a 12-foot tower when making the movie Fearless. He fell from a 12-foot tower on the set when he was filming a fight scene for Fearless back in 1986. Suffering from a serious left ankle fracture, a few broken ribs and internal injuries, he had to continue with the filming as the entire movie studio was depending on him. He said that till now old injuries still bother him. The only one who suffered more injuries than Jet Li in the movie industry is Jackie Chan. Please kindly watch my video dedicated to Jackie Chan. Number 12. The name Jet Li was actually given to him by a Philippines publicity company. Did you know that Jet Li wasn't a name that he gave himself? It was actually given to him by a Philippines publicity company who found it hard to pronounce his name back in 1982. And don't think they gave him that name because it sounded cool. There's actually a meaning behind it. They felt that his career was like an aircraft that was taking off fast, so they placed the name Jet Li on movie posters, and the name stuck from then on. What an absolutely cool way to get a name. Number 13. Jet Li's charity work. He researched and planned out one foundation which mainly helps out with disaster relief. That's because he understands what it's like to be in a disaster. People will be hoping that there are people out there coming to rescue them. He wants to use his name to do good, to spread the love virus. That is the most important thing to him.
The 3 movies containing message to the world. Jet Li is a pretty deep person and he has message that he wants to tell to the world. This message can be found in the Office movies. Fearless. The biggest enemy is yourself. Unclissed. Violence is never a solution. Hero. The suffering of a single person isn't as significant as the suffering of an entire nation. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, please subscribe to my channel, hit the like button below, and please don't forget to share these videos with your friends.